All right, y'all. So I wanted to make a follow-up video, kind of like a community reaction to the tier list I put out yesterday. I got a few responses, and I'm like, I think this would make a pretty good discussion about, again, kind of like the state of the game, but answering some questions people may have had about the tier list, because what I did is cover most of the changes, but I didn't mention anything that I did in previous videos, because I'm like, there's not really a point in repeating the same talking points I've made multiple times to where, oh, now the video is like a 50-minute video rather than, I think it was what, like 20-ish minutes, question mark? I actually don't remember how long the video was. The video was 25 minutes already, and you guys know I can talk. I'm really good at talking, obviously, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look here at some of the replies to this tier list. Now, I guess I could clarify a few things. One, many things could be switched around depending on how you feel. And we'll talk about things as we get to them. I think you can make many changes to this tier list and it could still be a really, really fair looking tier list. Honestly, as long as you agree Bojack's poo-poo doo-doo, I don't really care. I think that the game is very close in terms of how good characters are, that you can make very, very solid arguments for why, oh, this character should be up a tier, this character should be down a tier. I think that we could all agree on that. And even slight adjustments to characters like Majin Buu received like pretty like a good adjustment, but it's even like a slight adjustment can really move this guy up to where before, he was kind of just like okay, but now he's pretty good. So I mean, I'd argue, if I was going to say like top 3 technicals, this guy would probably be in their fight, went fourth and like decided to choose like 1, 2, 3. Again, keep in mind that within the tiers, they're not actually ordered. I'm not saying 17 is better than Gotenks or Caulifla is necessarily better than like Hit or something like that. I just kind of group the characters together, right? But I guess first we'll take a look at some of the YouTube comments that I got here. We'll just see here what people are saying. So people really wake up in the morning and decided to hop on Squadra to play Cell and Bojack, and I thought that was kind of funny. Look, I think when it comes to Bojack, I've already talked about how he needs buffs. Maybe I should make specifically a Bojack video talking about how he should get buffed. There's many things about that, right? How to buff Gekishin Squadra's worst character. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But I've talked about Bojack well enough, and I'm sure many of you guys know about Bojack. Cell, again, I've also talked about him quite a bit. I think Cell does need a few different buffs. I would say Cell is overall in a better place than Bojack, right? But when it comes to like worse attackers / worse technical, worse in the role, I would say Cell, Zamasu, Bojack kind of like are what stand out to me specifically. Cell, it's very easy to make him better. Just give him extra health early on, and I think that does wonders for him. He just like is able to be food early on as a tank character, and I just think that's just not what the tank role should be doing, in my opinion anyways. And I very much value early games, but when Sal is able to transform and he's gotten some of his extra health buffs up from the what's the passive, his passive, it's called the absorption, but I don't know what the passive exactly is called at the top of my head. It is a bioenergy, yeah, the bioenergy mechanic. Once he gets a couple of these up, he again, very snowbally character when it comes to that, right? Duh. But I think tanks need to be stronger defensively earlier on. And what I think should be the thing when it comes to Cell. But let's continue on here. Again, there's a huge thread. People are just started talking about Cell. Sounds like you never tried Cell yourself because he's really fun to use. Snowball Saxon make the Sky Monster. I think that he is very fun. So Cell is actually fun to use. Like once you get the ball rolling with Cell, he starts to be really fun. Actually, it's a thing of like, you need to put more effort to use Cell than I think a lot of the other tanks, right? And a lot of them just could have better overall like output, but yeah. You love solo queuing tank while playing Cell. You especially love getting EXL Juniors. You love not being able to kill EXL Juniors fast enough because his burst damage is really ass. Yeah, that's one thing about this guy. And a lot of people were talking about Cell in the tier list. Cell doesn't have any like burst damage, right? That's why I think this is a good move when it comes to fights, but when it comes to getting secure, Cell doesn't have a move to secure any objectives, right? I mean, we could take a look at a lot of the other tank characters just in general. Vegeta does actually have two moves. His skill 1 and skill 2 I think could be used pretty decently to get a secure. Zamasu doesn't really have a secure like that either. Baby's like, I mean, like, you could use skill 1, but Baby's not really like a secure kind of character either. He's kind of a different archetype. I think Caulifla and Cooler both have moves that could very nicely secure things, but Cell, again, it's also missing a secure. Like, these three characters, I think, are able to at least get a decent secure off. Cell, it's like his move is delayed, so you will have to time it. Not that you can't secure things with Cell. He's actually pretty good though at keeping enemies from securing. I think is one thing that maybe people could talk about more when it comes to this guy, because of the energy field. This stops Ki Blast kind of attacks. So if you're using Cell and you are getting a nice lead with him and you have his ultimate, you could use his ultimate to stop someone from securing, like Android 16 or Nappa. That's some value that Cell does have himself, but at the same time, again, Cell is weaker early on, so I think it's easy to get an advantage against the Cell player if they're not playing really smart or just straight up outplaying you. Like, if you're more on an even playing field, right? Cell will likely have to retreat faster. That means that you get access to mid farm faster. That means that Cell likely might not get access to his ultimate by then, and then you're under leveled. And then it's like, oh, you know, that advantage you could have is not there anymore because Cell is a bit weak early on. Like, you guys get the point, right? When it comes to how this game works. Which is why, again, very much value early on, especially when we were talking about Cell Juniors, man. It's like, okay, well, Cell will have his barrier, but then when he's in the vicinity, you're like 3 levels under. Because he can't really confirm his Cell Junior, right? That's the thing. And you're not going to be using an ult against a Cell Junior either. Let's see. Go to video from Minato, but you think Khalifa's impact on the game is way too big. Again, I could very easily see why someone would say... again, I hate that I can't like refresh the page. I guess I could, again, always do like this would be what I do here, but I could very easily see why someone would want Khalifa to be like the best hero over what's it called, Cooler, because Khalifa, I think, again, the impact of Khalifa is very massive on this game in general, just because of her provoked mechanic. I mean, again, we take a look at a bunch of the damage roll characters. I should just keep this tab open, actually. We take a look at a lot of the damage roll characters specifically. Again, Super Saiyan 3 Goku's countered by her a little bit. Super Saiyan Goku gets countered a little bit by her. Super Saiyan Trunks, like all through mobility moves, just straight up get countered, right? Kale doesn't really have mobility moves, right? And she is a character that can like burst in an area, although the move would be kind of focused on her. But I think you guys kind of get the point when it comes to the provoked ability. And many of the, even like tank characters, like there's moves that again will get aimed towards her, so that could be a potential issue, right, when it comes to escaping. I think more so for attackers, and maybe that could be why you see Khalifa better. I think Cooler's ultimate is really what takes it for me. But again, it's very close. It's very close. We'll read a couple more YouTube comments and then we'll switch over to Twitter. Then we'll kind of hop back and forth, I think, a little bit. As of lately, you notice a lot of people either just started to play or just sucking bad. It depends. There's also the Switch, the Switch thing, right? Where I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but you guys know. If you know, you know. Maybe it's a server, the thing, but sells way better than Baby. Easily third best tank, because you see so many good players dominating. You ever see Baby in the same queue with Zamasu and Vegeta as average? Again, this is where it's like, okay, I see the value in Cell. I just think you have to put in more work than Vegeta or even Baby. And maybe you could say I should switch Baby and Cell. The thing about Baby is, I think Baby is more valuable to me early on than Cell or Zamasu, but I think late game Cell could be better than Baby. Baby's only like here, and again, I would still keep these two down here. Baby's only here because I just don't feel like it is it makes sense for me to put Baby in the same tier as Cell and Zamasu, because I think Baby is able to peel for your allies more, which I think should be like an important part of a tank, especially again, like you pair a character like Baby with even Kale or something like that, right? This skill 1 is actually really good at being able to forcibly move people back. It has a pretty wide range even at skill 1. Skill 2 I think is pretty decent as well. Skill 3, the possession, like, could be really interesting. And you know, there is a situation where you do land a finisher and then you're able to use the enemy. It's not too common. I think this should be, because I believe that this does not activate when you get an assist, from what I'm recalling. If you're able to get an assist off and then this does activate, that would be where things can get really crazy, I think. But right now it's specifically when you land a finisher, if I'm not mistaken. So unfortunately, assists, I believe, don't actually count for that kind of thing, which does suck. Or like when you're possessing someone, maybe it could be like an option for you to go ahead and possess that enemy's body. Again, especially like later game, it could be very helpful. Give him like a little bit of boost, because like we said, like Cell could start shining late game. Well, I think Baby is a little better at the start, in my opinion. This is cool too. I mean, they also nerfed Baby from what he was in the network test, so he's not nearly as good as he was. Honestly, they like really hurt this guy badly, because before he was really overpowered. But yeah, I'm thinking I would rather have a Baby on my team rather than a Cell, but that's my opinion personally. Yeah, that's pretty much it from there. So we'll take a look here at some of the Twitter replies and see what people are saying as well, just for the funsies, right? So, oh yeah. So this is another YouTube comment that I did get. I just thought it was funny. It's funny how you talk about Iron Kane's tier list, which I didn't even like. I actually thought Iron Kane's tier list was massively overhated. I don't even know where this is coming from. Like, I love Iron Dude. His tier list, I don't know. I feel like people were like super harsh on his tier list. I thought it was like fine. Again, like 1 or 2 things I disagree with, but overall it's like, oh yeah, you know, it's good. I didn't even say anything bad. But your tier list is way worse. LMAO, what's criminal monster of the tier list? Oob decent. People have been telling me about Oob. I don't see it personally. Like, maybe I just haven't run into too many Oobs. Maybe Oob is better than I'm giving him credit for. I could see the vision with Oob. I just like, and then my testing of this guy, just seeing what he does. Maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe I have a skill issue with Oob. I had a skill issue with Hit, but I knew Hit was still really good. If you wanna say like Oob should be a tier higher, sure. I could completely see that. 100%. Abe, which is, you know, the #1 ranked player in Gekishin, very, very good player. But Super Saiyan 3 Goku buff, Super Saiyan Goku plus Kale. It's so easy to counter. LMAO, you just need to bait her ulti. I think I've made this talking point already in the original video. Super Saiyan 3 Goku is easier to use than Kale and Super Saiyan Goku, but I think when you utilize the characters to their best abilities, Super Saiyan Goku and Kale do have a better overall output. And I think, you know, you could say, I think it's when you're at a high level, you could say, oh, you know, you could bait Kale's ult. I think that's very fair. There's tanks are able to use their assists, like their helper, and bait Kale's ult as well, right? Or essentially, like, yeah, you could, because you could. Well, okay, I'll explain it. I've seen someone say that to me before, but you actually can, because Kale can't be obstructed. So you could use the helper, like, that forces someone to go to you, but Kale has no obstruction, no attack obstruction. So she actually can't be, like, I believe, provoked, or she can't be affected by the Rildo kind of helper as well. But there is ways that you could, like, bait Kale's ultimate out. But if a Kale player is smart with what they're doing, they could use it in a very advantageous state as well. So that's a thing. And I don't know, Super Saiyan Goku did get nerfed, right? So I could very easily see the argument closer with these three, which I did say in the video, right? In fact, I think I did respond to this comment, but like 13 minutes into the video, I was like, in fact, I literally went to look into it, right? 13 minutes into the video, I was looking at this and I was like, you know, if you want to, you could switch like these four characters. The only one I wouldn't really switch is like Piccolo, but again, you'll literally see in this video, I'm gonna move these characters around a little bit, right? Like, see, you could do something like that. You could do something like that. Not that I necessarily agree with something like that, for example, or something like this right here. I think it's fine. Like, you can make many changes because, like, before I was like Super Saiyan Goku's by far right there, just like at the top. But now it's more close between everyone. But I don't know. Bro, those ones to Abba. He didn't put Gotenks as easier. That's another separate video I have to do. Gotenks discussion. A lot of people are saying Gotenks is by far the best not attacker. Technical. I think I had a few quotes here. Yeah, if you pick Bojack, it's an L. Nobody thinks highly of 18. Funny game. I think we did have like a little conversation here. I said she's good in Bro. That's not what I'm saying. I just put her higher because they're biased. I think you can move like 18. I want to really move her a little higher than this. I think the rest of the characters have just overall better secure, more burst. Just like overall better, but I think 18 could put up a performance in fights and on those levels of those characters, right? So maybe I'm underrating 18, but Gekishin needs more impactful patches if this is the tier list. I'm not sure. Like, you're seeing that there's just not much really change. This is a 1.1 patch though. It's not like a season 2 patch, right? Where like there's like multiple characters changed in a massive way. So we're not really expecting many major changes like this, right? Tier list of all time. I mean, what's wrong with it? Did you explain anything? No. I mean, people could just come and say this tier list sucks, but then don't like give a reason why you think the tier list sucks. Like, someone's actually like typing something out. I'd argue Gotenks is better than Gohan. He's not supporting like crazy, but having him on the team is like having 3 damage characters and one with insane mobility. I mean, but you could say the same thing. It just depends on what you're valuing as well, I think. But you could say the same thing with even Frieza, or you know, you could say it with 17 a bit, right, with the skill 1. Or Krillin as well. Like, I think a lot of these characters are more attack focused, right? It's like Majin Buu's more healing. I mean, well, Majin Buu, his skill 1 does a lot of damage now too. The thing about like Gohan is that it's not like he does bad damage either. He actually does decent stuff to himself. And he does have insane mobility as like a damage based character, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's better. Sometimes you don't need more damage. Sometimes it's useful to have an extra character that's supporting or stunning. I guess in one case, Gohan is providing you more damage though, because of his support. Like, he's not doing a lot of damage himself, but he still has this ability to secure something if he really needs to. Not like the most like, oh my god, this guy can secure everything, but this could be useful. Having 2 stuns, having the energy barrier. Again, we talked about this with Cell, but Gohan has this as well, like applies the energy defense up, which, you know, it's not like I talked about Cell like being able to block attacks basically from the outside against securing. This could still be good because a lot of attacks are based around our energy. I think, you know, this could be utilized more often, honestly. Even for me when I use Kid Gohan, but like, he has the 2 stuns here. He has this support is very, very insane that he does provide, like the attack amount that he gives. It's like what, 400 500 attack is like kind of crazy, which is very helpful. Daima in something that's not C or D, your life is you're gaining meaning. People don't know how to use Daima, man. Oob too low, very fair. Not your Rapaz. I probably said that like really badly, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, dude. In terms of pure support, you get it, Gohan, but now taking into account everything else, you don't see a world where he's better than Gotenks. Only thing Gotenks doesn't have is buffs, debuffs. Otherwise, his stun is much plus safer than Gohan's. So again, we can compare Gohan and Gotenks. I think that is a good little kind of comparison you can make here. Let me actually open the Heroes tab again. But okay, let's take a look at their stun. Gotenks' stun is a combo that has a decent amount of range, and then he teleports and warps back. I found this to be a little odd with the teleportation, how it works sometimes. Like, I think it's really good, but the thing about Gohan is that you don't wait for a combo to finish, you just stun them. Like, you just rush forward and you stagger them. Like, it is just stagger. This is a move that you do a combo and then you stagger. I mean, theoretically, I believe you might be able to even escape this in some situations. So you have time to kind of potentially maneuver around the stagger here, whilst Gohan is just like stagger, right? And Gohan also does have the option to have no skills, which could also be very devastating on top of that. Like, I think the stagger could be very, very powerful. Like, don't get it wrong. Once you land this combo and get the stagger, it could be very, very good. Gohan's also able to just immediately capitalize on this, though, in a sense where if you're trying to stagger the enemy, I feel like you're trying to push them. Gohan doesn't teleport back and warp back, right? Even though Gotenks will technically do a little more damage with this, right? You ideally would like to go in and just stagger, then push in, but Gotenks does teleport back, so depending on where you use it, you might teleport far back enough to where, like, you're not able to even potentially, like, secure a kill in some situations. I just think it's more potentially, like, open for Gohan, or, like, it's more, what's the wording? I can't find the correct wording, but I think you guys are getting to the point where Gohan, you instantly go in and stun, then you capitalize on it right away with both of your teammates, Gohan and the other ally. Whereas Gotenks, it's like he does the combo, then he stuns, then you capitalize, right? Which will take longer. And this game is very important about how long things are interactions wise, even like 1 to 2 seconds. I personally am a fan of Gohan stun more, but I think, you know, both of the staggers are still really good. Ghost Kamikaze, you could do everything with them. Yes, Ghost Kamikazes are really powerful, but I think people forget that energy attacks or even like physical attacks can get rid of the Ghost Kamikazes. I mean, even Goku's Meteor Hammer is able to get rid of the Kamikazes. I think people haven't tried to kind of learn how to properly get around the ghosts. I'm trying to think. It's the same as Krillin's mines, right? Except Krillin's mines can't, I think, be detonated by physical attacks. But Gotenks aren't invisible. And just like Krillin's, they could also be deleted by energy attacks as well. Gotenks' ghosts are very annoying still. Like, let's not get it twisted. It's a very powerful ability. But I'm not going to say that is like impossible to work around them. You can do everything with them, but they also do have an open weakness, right? And there's certain situations where it will catch you off guard. Like, no doubt about that. Very powerful. I think, in my opinion, I think it is his best move in his arsenal, the Ghost Kamikaze. I think that's me, though. The Galactic Donut is the best CC in the game. I don't think it's the best CC in the game. In fact, I'm gonna open the game. Like, calling it the best CC, like, I don't agree with that. I feel like I think it's good, and I think if you are able to coordinate very well with your teammates, especially, it could be a very powerful ability. I'm just like, I feel like I personally haven't really been scared by it too much. I think it can be very disgusting, but let's take a look here at Gotenks and the Galactic Donut, right? So this is level 1 right here, right? Look at the time that it takes to kind of be put down. Like, it's like fine, right? And it has a pretty wide range, which I love it. But I'm just like, look at this range right here at level 3. It's pretty insane. It's like I could just do this right here, and then Vegeta's grouped in the middle, and then you kind of are able to kill. Like, let's say, I don't know. Let's just get this in here. and then I use the ultimates right here, and then now he's brought in here with the ultimates, and then I could use a galactic donut and keep him in there. Or, you know, let's say I use galactic donut and then I stagger with Vegeta, bam, and just do a lot of burst damage. But like, you see what I mean right there? We're like, okay, I'm able to stagger Vegeta here, and then I get teleported back. So like, if I don't kill Vegeta here, my allies by myself to actually kill the enemy, whilst Kid Gohan is able to just like go in and just instantly, like, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Like, Gohan's able to instantly capitalize. That's the word I was looking for. Capitalize on the situation, right? Because again, see right here. Look at that range, by the way, too. It's pretty nasty. Bam. Tactically I missed it, but like you guys could see if I do something like this, bam, and I'm able to instantly capitalize on that. But Gotenks will teleport all the way back over here. Like, that's one thing I also want to keep in mind here. Yeah, this doesn't really do a lot of damage, but it could be good for like pushing people away, and in case you have to peel for something like that. And this charge is not really, it doesn't even take a long time. The cooldown's very small with it as well. Like, this is just a overall pretty good move. It's good. So that's just me though. We could go ahead and close the game, I guess, for now. I just felt like showing that specifically. Like, Gotenks is very good, man. Like, we're not gonna sit around and act like Gotenks is bad, but I just like, I think there's excuse me, I muted myself, but I coughed really badly. There is ways to play around Gotenks. I think people don't realize, and there's ways to play around Gohan, but Gotenks is not by far the best technical. Like, I just don't think that's the case. And Abe, you know, also like is not really a fan of Gotenks. Because like, if I look at Abe's tier list, see, Abe has hit best technical, but Abe has Gotenks. Where is that guy at? Oh, this is, I think this is before Gotenks. Where's Abe's list specifically? Yeah, Abe had Gotenks in A tier right here. Like, Abe thinks that Gohan, I think he got on the he came on the true side of Gohan in best in slots. There we go. Abe understands, man. Again, and like, this is fine with me too. I think this is all looks good. Even I personally would say I think Gotenks can move up, but like, there's ways to play around Gotenks. I think people don't understand how to do so. Maybe it's because I was also like, I used to main Krillin, and maybe it's because of that, where it's like the minds and the ghosts have like a similar mindset, and at the same time they have the same weaknesses, right? Don't agree with putting two characters in the same role in best in role. I said you're required to use two attackers, so that's why you have two attackers here. I got a few questions about Deborah, actually, yeah. So the thing about Deborah is I think his gimmick, you know, being the petrification, like, once you get that off, it's really good. But I think there are definite ways around it. And, you know, people brought up using skill 2 properly. It's like, yeah, you could time skill 2 well. Like, again, if you know when to use the spear, use it properly, it's very powerful. And, you know, talked about Kale. It's horrible because the devs didn't allow petrification to work on Super Saiyan Kale, even though you get the prompt and stone her, she breaks out in 0 frames. Because, I believe it's because of the no attack obstruction. I think that's why that's the case, right? With the no attack obstruction specifically. So, that's unfortunate for Deborah fans, right? And if anything, I think that makes a little point to me. I just think there's multiple like different CCs and things to get around Deborah's bar. And the thing about Deborah is, I think his gimmick is really cool. It's just very tough to maybe balance it, because it's either very overpowered, game breaking, or it's just decent. Like, there's a very hard line, because that's why I'm not really like super high in Deborah, because he's really based around that. And you could tell his damage is like, it's like decent damage, right? We'll take it. But you have other characters at the end of the day that I think will just overall perform better. And there's also, when it comes to securing bosses, the word's like not the best ever either. So not too sure about Kale buff Riku. To me, it's about Kale being able to just like secure the objectives. That's just me. personally. And he said, I didn't agree with the list in certain situations. Gamma's above Oob, Baby the same universe. I talked about a lot of these points. Gamma's an Oob. I think if you're like, I think Gamma's and Oob should switch around. Sure, I think I completely see the idea. I think I'd like the Gamma's ult stun a little more and the 2 health bars mechanic over what Oob has. And I think that's kind of what takes the cake for me, honestly. I could definitely see someone switching them. We talked about Baby. I think Krillin and 17 are like, okay. The other technicals, again, very, very good. I would say if I had to say anything, 17 and Krillin are like probably the bottom 2 of technicals, right? And I completely understand that. But they all, like, they have their own unique gimmicks. 17 especially, dude. He could be very nasty. His ultimate is like actually like busted. Like, I think no one realizes how good this ultimate actually is. It's insane. This ultimate is really good for making a push. Like, let's say they're defending their tower, like there's 2 towers left and your enemy team's all grouped up on one of their towers. You can take the farm, but with 17, I think you're really able to push that because they can't heal, especially you pick out like their tank character. They're not able to heal or recover any shield. There's the hit stun. Like, it's very, 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 very good. I really like this ability as well, the Android Barrier. Barrier Ball is very powerful as well. This guy's able to stop transformations. Like, he has a lot of unique stuff. Krillin is still able to be a little rat as well in many scenarios. I think if you play well with these characters, they can be on par with a lot of these other characters. That's me though. Like, I'm someone who like loves playing technical the most though. You think they're competitive, but the other 3 are flat out better? I mean, yeah. When it comes to technicals, I could see that. So almost the lowest tier is a very big stretch. Skill check, but if you know how to use them, he's very strong. I mean, yeah, I agree, but let's see if I see anything here. Respect Goat Jack. No, I'm not gonna respect that guy. 18 being next to Trunks. I mean, both are good still. Like, you could make very, very good plays and have very, very crazy wins of those characters. Trunks especially is like a win more character. I think it's kind of a term I've been seeing people come around with. Win more definitely makes a lot of sense here. Move Oop to good above Trunks, maybe 18. I don't think that's the case. I mean, I think Oop could be good in role. I had him in that last time. But above Trunks and 18, I don't see it. Gotenks easily above Gohan, no. Again, people are saying this about Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I think give it like 3 weeks and people are gonna realize all the ways you can work around Gotenks, and they're like, oh, Gotenks was overrated. No, no, he's not. He's really good. You can do crazy things with this guy. But there's many ways around this guy too. You can swap Piccolo at 18 Trunks, but Gotenks top. I think Piccolo's just kind of a stupid character. Where it's like, okay, skill 1 ult. Skill 1 is an ultimate, right? Giving Damagoku the respect. Best in Roxy, the best in Roll. Kid Gohan. What? Oh, that's Bojack. Let's end on the Bojack comment. You don't understand. You were the worst in both betas, and they buffed me, but you still suck. Did they even really buff him? They kind of gave him the universal change that all transformation characters were given. So hopefully he gets an actual buff, but let me know what you guys are thinking. I mean, I just kind of laid out my points and responded to some of these replies. This video is already very long, so I don't want to like give it any more. I mean, Cell Main right here getting buffs, more base health. I agree. Skill 1 should explode immediately. I think it should be an option. I like the timing because you could set it up like a little bit like a trap in a sense, where you're pushing the enemy back. Then you can set up skill 1 to be behind the enemy, and then it stuns them and you're able to kind of keep going, right? Skill 2 should have longer range. Maybe. I think skill 2 is already pretty good, actually. Skill 3 should do more damage and be cancelled due to staggering. Ultimate should do more damage, have the arena last a bit longer. Yeah, I see these buffs very well, so sorry I'm copying it, but let me know what y'all are thinking. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.